I have recorded over 20 videos for this channel, more than 20 videos. You've got like all this idea, creativity. Have you ever been in such a situation before? If you have, then you are the person that I'm really talking to in this lesson. If you're in your 20s, this video is for you. I promise you, there is no year. Everything is going to be worth it by the end. Pick one thing, run with it, and get results. So, if you are a creative person and you're also very, very into details and a very, very big perfectionist, then many times you've got like so many things that you want to do, but like you want the one thing out of the so many things that you're doing, like every single one of them to be so perfect and so put together. Of course, I understand that if it comes out to be very, very excellent, it's worth it. I mean, it also tells of you. But if there is a way, things should get delegated. However, what I'm really talking about is where it gets to being able to function in our everyday life. Right, so I'm going to use myself for example here. I have recorded over 20 videos for this channel, more than 20 videos. And every time I begin to edit, you know, and just within the editing phase, I see myself. I'm like, no, the way I sound is not good. The way I moved my hand so much in that video is not good. Or my voice is a little bit too high. There's so much pitch here. The lighting is not perfect. These, that. I became my own biggest critic. Yeah. And it would get to a point where I get overwhelmed by just doing this so many things and in so many times that I end up getting rid of video I delete, not knowing that I was actually deleting my progress and my learning. Because if I put it out there, then I'll be able to gain feedback. People will be able to tell me, "Oh, you've done this thing," or "We wanted to hear you more." Yeah, the lighting was not good. I would not know everything on my own except I put it out there. So, in fact, if I had just kept waiting that my intro is not good, my outro is not good, I don't even know if you noticed in this particular video that I didn't start with any intro and there is no outro. Because if I stalled or kept waiting for when I'm able to perfectly speak on YouTube and perfectly put everything together, then even right now you wouldn't be seeing those things and maybe I would never get the opportunity to grow, and then this growth will be stagnant. So instead of gathering so many things you want to do and end up doing nothing, have, of course, when you've got like all this idea, creativity, there's so many videos, ideas you want to create, or these places you want to go, this new thing you want to bring out. It's beautiful to have all of those things, but if it's possible, I'd advise that you get a notebook and just call it creatives or creativity. And on there, you just pen down all of these ideas. But I want you to only pick one thing and focus on that one thing, pursue it deeply so much that it actually brings results. The difference between people that are very, very creative and the people that are not so creative but are actually making success for themselves is that those guys find the one thing and then they make it matter. The second one I've got here is creating inspirational on productivity. I didn't know how to call it, but please pardon me if it was not good. But as a friend, something myself, I get this. I mean, so many times it's just too much to actually let loose and get good rest for ourselves. When you have so much you want to achieve, there is so many things. You want to become a millionaire, you want to become a business owner, you want to be the biggest artist. Many times it's just there and it feels like you're very, very ambitious, yet somewhat lazy when it comes to achieving them. Have you ever felt like this here? Imagine a day you got up in the morning, you knew the things that you wanted to do. In fact, you've got goals that you want to achieve. And all through that day, you did a lot of things, a whole lot of things. But by the end of the day, at night, you realize that you're actually not done anything. And all the things you thought you were doing, you weren't doing anything at all, and it just breaks you. And then so many times we fall into one of these two. It is either that you doom scroll on TikTok, and then by the end or by the next day it begins to affect how you even show up the next day, or two, you fall into overtime where you do more things during the night, and when you're not able to complete everything that you should do, you then push it over to the next day. And then when you get to the next day, you're pushing over, and then you fall into a deep cycle of procrastination. Have you ever been in such a situation before? If you have, then you are the person that I'm really talking to in this lesson. So instead of just filling up my time with a lot of distractions and emptiness and nothingness, how do I feel or feed into my time things that are productive and somewhat push me forward into the things that I am pursuing to achieve myself? The author of Feel Good Productivity, Ali Abdaal, he's also a YouTuber here for over a decade here on YouTube. Yeah, like I was saying, he's a YouTuber here on YouTube as well. And then he said something that productivity should feel good and not something that you should be so sad when you even think about it. It should feel good to you. Instead of doom scrolling on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and all of these beautiful apps that we've got out there, instead of doing that, now what I do differently is journal, talking about myself personally, or I use that time at night when everything is a lot more quieter and there's no one to disturb me. I use that moment to think and reflect on my day. I use it to ask myself questions about how things went through the day, how I am growing, what changes need to be done in the way that I am socializing, the way that I walk, the way that I work, the way that I do things on a daily basis. And another thing I do is I read book at night, even when I am all alone and not wanting to be disturbed. I just read books. Okay, so instead of just filling up your time with a lot of distractions, fill it up with things that are productive, pushing you forward to what you are aiming to get.
I want you to imagine a young woman who's full of ideas and she has a desire to start a business. But she's not just dreaming about starting a business, she wants to build multiple businesses. She is creative. So creative, she wants each one of these businesses to be perfect. Every launch, every detail. But to get there, she has to choose one idea to begin with. Just one. Instead of spending hours on Netflix, scrolling endlessly or wasting time on things that don't serve her goals, she decides to focus. She earns after she's completed her most important tasks. This doesn't mean cutting out joy, it just means shifting it, putting the mission first. And here's the key. While doing the work, she doesn't think about the reward. She thinks about how to finish well. Because when your mind is fixated on pleasure, it weakens your willpower. You start telling yourself, I'll enjoy this now and I'll work later. But we both know, right? Once you enter pleasure mode, it's hard to snap back. Now, let's say she has a productive day, alright? She's earned her reward. That reward should still be within healthy boundaries. It can be fun and intentional, alright? Maybe for her that looks like a cozy evening in bed, snacks nearby, the TV's on, not even about what she's watching, just that she's unwinding, and that's okay as long as it doesn't turn into 3 to 4 hours of doom scrolling that steals her rest. Instead, she might keep a book by her bedside, one that fits her vision, or takes a few minutes to research something about her business. Even if it's YouTube, she can turn it into something useful. She could watch her favorite creator, but this time with a notebook, jot down insights, see how it applies to her journey. And lastly, I'd advise to this young woman, if you are her and you're listening to this, I'd advise that let there be rest, all right? At least one day a week that is only for restoration. No big tasks, no over planning, just pure soulful rest. A day to take care of yourself, a day to ask deeper questions, a day to refill your cup.
And the final one that I've got for you in this video is that you should build systems if you have goals. I remember there is one of this video that Stephen Bartlett, he's a podcaster and YouTuber of the Diary of the CEO here. In one of his videos, I do not know if I'm going to be able to recall that story vividly, but I think he was talking about how that his father was addicted to smoking, and that every time his father got into his car, there was a particular place in the car where he would, just put his hand there and then he would get himself the lighter and the cigarette. But for change or good change to really happen, what needed to be done or what they did is that they switched the lighter and the cigarettes for candies. So now when the father is in the car, instead of lighting his cigarette and smoking, what he does now, you just get one candy right there. Sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is it about this that is making me feel excited to do it? What pleasure am I getting from this soda? What is it that I'm trying to feel or get from this? And that brings us to the final part of this video. Please, please, please. I believe that this is going to be my second video on YouTube. If you're seeing this video, if it was helpful to you, please let me know in the comment section. Talk about things that you learned and also give feedback on how that I have done the video, something that you think can be done better, because then we're able to grow and reach more people. And also subscribe to the channel. Love you all. Bye.